Liz Bishop is in New York City right now. She's been following the Pope ever since yesterday. Liz, from what I see online, from what I see on TV, it does seem like New York loves this Pope with a passion.
They do indeed. And although the crowd has thinned out quite a bit while the Pope is in celebrating Mass with those 20,000 or so, including many local folks, and you'll be meeting them in a minute, there are still an awful lot of people on the street, I think, that are hoping to catch a glimpse of him as he walks out. And if you're wondering what our papal experience was like, for those of us who were standing shoulder to shoulder as he turned down with the motorcade down 33rd Street, sadly, that was it. Can you see that? That was my one picture of the Fiat that the Pope was in. And that's really all any of us saw, except, as I mentioned, that his arm at one point did come out of the window and wave at all of us. But it was an exciting moment for all of us. And I think the reason people here love this Pope so much is that he really resonates with young and old alike, and they all claim him for their very own. And we certainly found that was the case with our local folks, as I mentioned. We caught up with a group of 50 students from the Albany Diocese who made a bus trip here, and we also caught up with a group of train passengers that I like to call the ladies on the train. A sea of people flashing their tickets to attend the Mass snaked down 7th Avenue. We were looking for people from home, and it wasn't long before we hit pay dirt.
Sharon Burgess from Latham.
Vicki Rogers from Albany.
Janet Furbeck, Colony. Connie Hess, Clifton Park.
Dawn Hewitt, Albany, New York.
Karen Whitcomb, Albany.
They were the ladies on the train, and the Pope had brought them together.
Each parish had one ticket, so the three of us connected and came down on the train together.
Yeah, we were on this train as well, but then we found each other when we got here.
And it turns out, even though they were total strangers, their faith in this simple man gave them much in common.
Even though he's going to be so far away, just to be a part of this amazing piece of history.
Just want to be more humble, just like him.
Minutes after they walked in, the Yankee Trails bus pulled up to the curb, and the kids cooped up inside exploded onto the sidewalk. After all, they had a Pope to see.
It means a lot because my family has always been close with God, and it's really amazing.
It's so surreal, and he's like going to be right there, and you're just going to like feel the connection.
After a 3-hour bus trip, the kids were forced to wait another 2 hours for Secret Service clearance. It turns out they used the time wisely. Do you feel like you're friends forever now?
Yeah! We mostly talked. I made a lot of new friends. Everyone's so nice and caring, and it's just a lifetime of it's just an experience of a lifetime.
The young people's innocence and excitement was in stark contrast to the police sharpshooters and bomb-sniffing dogs walking through the crowd. The young people seemed oblivious, talking instead about experiencing the love of the Holy Father.
It's so lucky that we get to go and do this, and just being able to be a part of this is so big because this is his first trip to the United States.
For a lot of people who have been in the presence of the Holy Father, whoever the Holy Father was, in their high school years, it's been a very transformative experience for them.
Do you think it could change your life?
Definitely.
And Greg, I would just say that the people from the Capital Region rock. They were terrific people. I'm glad they're in there right now.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of new friends the past couple of days, Liz. Let me just ask you, obviously any Pope is going to engender all sorts of excitement and awe, but there is something special, just like John Paul II. There's something special about this Pope, right?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, just standing there watching him turn that corner, and really just the car and his arm, it just, people were crying, Greg, and I just get back to that woman standing next to me who was just so quietly saying, "We love you, Pope, we love you, Pope." I think that is really the sense of it here, and I think that even though there's been a huge disruption to life in New York City as they know it, they're very tolerant of this, and maybe probably most so because this is a man they really admire and have taken into their own hearts. And I think they're glad it's happening right here in the Big Apple.